welcome back. I'm Jill with the Carefree Kitchen, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make some really easy, simple, oven-baked chicken breasts. And these chicken breasts are juicy and loaded with flavor. I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks that will help you get the perfect oven-baked chicken breasts. Before we get started, be sure to follow me on social media. I'm on Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Follow me and I will help you get easy, delicious, and healthy meals your whole family will love. Okay, so to get started, I am going to be using just some boneless, skinless chicken breast. And these are actually thawed already. You can use this technique also for frozen chicken breasts, but you will have to thaw them before you do it. Okay, so I'm just going to get a sheet of plastic wrap, and this recipe calls for 4 chicken breasts. So I'm just going to set this chicken breast on here, and then if you haven't tried tenderizing your chicken, it only takes a couple minutes, but it's well worth the time. It really makes your chicken tender and juicy. And I'm using a meat tenderizer, and I'm just gonna use the flat part, but if you don't have a meat tenderizer, it's no big deal. You can use a rolling pin or the bottom of a glass cup or a mason jar, whatever works. So I'm just going to pound a few times on the thickest part of the breast and then lightly on the other part, and I want to make it about as even as possible. So I don't want to over pound it, just pound it a little bit. Okay, so that's about all I need, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that for all 4 of my chicken breasts. And then I will be putting them in a 9x13 just glass baking dish. And if there are any little bits of tendon or fat on your chicken, you want to be sure and just trim that off with some kitchen scissors or a knife. All right, so I have that ready. And now I'm going to make a little sauce to put over my chicken, the seasonings. And I like to use a little bit of butter and some garlic powder, some onion powder, paprika, some salt, and some pepper. In a little bowl, I've just already melted this in the microwave. You can melt it on the stove, whatever. To your butter, you're going to add about a tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and about a ½ teaspoon of pepper. Okay, and then you will just stir all of those seasonings up until it's all mixed in. Okay, so I can get the other side of this. I'm just going to flip this over and then use a little bit of the mixture here and spoon onto each one of those. I want to be sure and cover the entire chicken breast. Then I'll just use my tongs and flip this over. Okay. And then I will use the rest of this on top. And this is going to give your chicken breasts a ton of flavor and really make them juicy. Because without the bone and without the skin, sometimes baked chicken breast has a tendency to be really dry, but this will add a bunch of moisture back into it and then also load it with flavor. Now I'm going to bake the chicken in a preheated oven for 20 to 35 minutes, depending on how thick your chicken breasts are. These aren't super thick, so I'm imagining this is probably going to be around 25 to 30 minutes, but we'll use a meat thermometer to check the temperature. Okay, we're gonna check on our chicken here. You can see it's like bubbling and it's looking really good. To see if the chicken is done, I have this electric meat thermometer and I'm gonna see how warm it is. We're looking for 165 internal temperature. So we're actually getting close. And I habitually overcooked my chicken for so long until I got one of these, and this is really a game changer. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it in here for like 5 more minutes and then I will check on it again. It's almost ready. Okay, this looks about right. It's showing 166 on here, so you wanna get it to at least 165. And I like to put it on the thickest breast in the pan and one of the internal pieces because this takes a little bit longer to cook. And that way you can make sure your chicken is cooked all the way through. So again, the temperature for cooked chicken, how do you know if your chicken's done? An internal temperature of 165 degrees. All right, so here is my simple oven-baked chicken breast. And as you can tell, it looks so tender and juicy, and it has all of those spices all over it with just a little bit of butter to give it all of that moisture that we love in chicken breast. All right, so after your chicken gets out of the oven, you're gonna wanna let it sit for about 5 minutes to let the juices redistribute, and then you can go ahead and cut your chicken. If you're wondering what is a great side for chicken, I like to serve this with a baked potato, with mashed potatoes, maybe a rice pilaf, or even just a simple salad works great. This also goes perfect in tacos or quesadillas, so if you wanna make a big pan of this early in the week, then you can use the chicken again for leftovers later in the week. All right, so I like to slice my chicken up in nice thin slices, and then I can easily toss it into some pasta or on top of a salad or in a taco. And don't forget those juices that are left in the bottom of the pan. Be sure to use those. You can just drizzle them on top of the chicken after you've sliced it, or you can chop it up and then throw it back in the pan and mix it all in with those amazing juices because it's loaded with all that paprika and onion powder and garlic. It is so delicious. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Carefree Kitchen and enjoyed my recipe for simple oven-baked chicken breasts that work on just about anything. Be sure to follow me on social media, and if you'd like, there are directions linked to this video. You can follow those along or go to my website, thecarefreekitchen.com, and print off a recipe card there. So thanks for watching. I appreciate all your support and have a great day. Bye. This simple oven-baked chicken breast has loads of flavor, and it's made with simple ingredients. It's the best way to bake a chicken and works great on a salad or with a simple side.